idea.
Let him.
In an already unprecedented campaign, another unpredictable turn this morning. President Biden and former President Trump agreeing to 2 one-on-one debates, ending months of uncertainty about whether they'd face off at all. President Biden on Wednesday delivering this surprise offer to debate twice.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. And since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal.
The president even taunting Mr. Trump, who's been stuck in court 4 days a week.
So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Mr. Trump, who refused to take part in a single Republican primary debate, quickly signing on and pushing for more.
I think there should be more than 2, and I think they should be in large venues. It's just more exciting.
The first matchup, with no studio audience, set to take place June 27th, the earliest in modern history. That's just a few weeks before the Republican convention, and likely shortly after Mr. Trump's hush money trial has wrapped up. The second debate slated for September 10th, before early voting begins. The Biden campaign has requested a number of parameters, including that the candidates' microphones be cut off when it's not their time to speak. All of it comes after months of public pressure from the former president, even bringing out an empty lectern on the trail.
That's for Joe Biden. I'm trying to get him to debate.
Their agreement bypasses the Commission on Presidential Debates that's organized every matchup for more than 3 decades.
Folks, do you have any idea what this clown's doing?
Most Americans hope the rematch isn't a replay of their first debate in 2020 that turned ugly.
The
Radical
question,
left.
will you
Who is
shut up,
your,
man?
listen,
Meanwhile, Senator Mitt Romney, a fierce Trump critic, says President Biden should have pressured federal prosecutors not to indict the former president, and for the good of the country, should have pardoned him.
Had I been President Biden, when the Justice Department brought out indictments, I would have immediately pardoned him, because it makes me, President Biden, the big guy, and the person I pardoned, the little guy.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the Trump-Biden debates that are set to happen at the end of June and in September, well before the election, because the Biden campaign knows that Biden is currently losing the presidential race against Trump. In fact, I mean, that is confirmation that Biden is losing, that the internal polling from Democrats shows Biden losing, because this is an act of desperation, right? So they're saying, all right, well, you know what? Biden, he got to debate Trump, because for them, all Biden has to do is show up and to not have a Mitch McConnell moment, and they are going to see that as a win, right? And that is why they are doing it. Now, in order to avoid Biden having a Mitch McConnell moment, some have speculated that, hey, Biden could be under the influence. They could give Biden some performance enhancers in order to make it so he doesn't fall asleep in the middle of the debate. Okay, a lot of people have speculated this in regards to Biden's State of the Union address, where he seemed more amped up than he usually is, and Trump has come out and demanded that Biden take a drug test in response to speculation of how Biden is going to be able to make it through this debate.
2 points up to Biden. He can't talk, he can't walk, can't find his way off a stage, can't put 2 sentences together, although he has agreed to debate, so I don't know, maybe they know something. He's going to be so jacked up for those debates. I just want to debate this guy, but, you know, and I'm going to demand a drug test, too, by the way. I am. No, I really am. I don't want him coming in like the State of the Union. He was high as a kite. I said, is that Joe up there? A beautiful robe? And by the end of the evening, he's like, well, he was exhausted, right? No, we're going to demand a drug test. But Fake Tapper and these people, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fair. I think they're going to be fair. And if they're not, you know, you have to deal with it, right? You have to deal with it. But I just wanted to accept. And, you know, the only one he wanted to do it on basically CNN and another one we agreed to, 2 of them, I guess.
Yeah, so I don't blame Trump for demanding a drug test if he actually really does require Biden to take one, because at this point, Biden has gotten everything that he's wanted in regards to the demands for the debate in order to rig the debate in Biden's favor. I mean, it's going to be on liberal media outlets. We know that they're not going to be friendly towards Trump. We know that the questions are going to be skewed from a left-wing perspective. There's not going to be an audience because everybody knows that nobody really supports Joe Biden, right? Nobody openly supports Joe Biden and Kamala, okay? So the audience will be full of Trumpers. and that would not be good for Biden. They are going to cut Trump's mic. They're not going to let him talk. So, Trump has essentially agreed to debates that are going to be rigged against him. And I don't really blame Trump for agreeing to it, because ultimately at the end of the day, for him, he can win on the policies, right? Even if the debate is rigged against him, Biden is so bad. He's so terrible. His policies are so terrible that Trump, all he has to do really is to talk about how great things were under his administration versus what's happening now with Biden. And again, his failed policies, and he's going to win. Okay. But at the same time, the calculation from the left, again, is, hey, all Biden has to do is make it through it, right? The bar for Biden is just extremely, extremely, extremely low. Okay. So, the way that Biden can make it through the debate, a lot of people are saying, well, he's going to have to be on something, right? He's going to be on something to help him make it through it, because otherwise, I just don't see how it's possible. I really don't. Again, they're probably going to try to do it earlier, right? They're not going to do it super late because, again, they don't want Biden falling asleep. They're going to do everything they can to try to rig it in his favor. Now, we know that the Biden campaign is afraid of actually having a fair debate because they are essentially pulling out of the possibility of any other debate that's not rigged in his favor. Right? Because Trump has come out and proposed more debates. He's saying, listen, we shouldn't just do these debates on liberal media platforms like CNN. We should do debates on other platforms like a Telemundo or Fox News. And Biden is saying, no. He's already pulling out and saying, no. We only do the debates that I want to do, and I'm not going to do any further debates on any platforms that aren't going to be friendly towards me. Which, again, is another sign of just how weak Biden is, because he doesn't want to do anything on a platform that is not going to be kissing his ass, right? So let's read here. The Biden campaign has rejected the idea of participating in any additional debates with Donald Trump beyond the two they've already agreed to, according to NBC News. On Wednesday, both Joe Biden and Trump agreed to participate in two debates, one hosted by CNN and the other by ABC News. By Friday, Trump was pushing the Biden campaign to agree to a third debate hosted by NBC News and Telemundo. Trump has also accepted a debate on behalf of his still unnamed vice presidential running mate. Quote, on behalf of the future vice president of the United States, who I have not yet chosen, we hereby accept the Fox vice presidential debate, Trump texted to Fox's Brett Baier, who announced Fox's plan live on the air. Vice President Kamala Harris has already accepted a debate offer from CBS News, but the Trump campaign has thus far eschewed that event in favor of the Fox proposal. A Biden campaign official responded to the NBC News / Telemundo invitation saying, quote, the debate about debates is over, no more games. Well, listen, I don't think Trump is the one playing games. I think that the Biden administration is playing games because they want to organize debates on their terms and their terms only when you're losing, right? You're the ones that are losing. Biden is the one that has something to prove. Trump doesn't have anything to prove. This man has already agreed to two rigged debates, but yet Biden won't agree to do more debates on Trump's terms. Again, it tells you everything you need to know about how these people are scared, right? Everything when it comes to the Biden administration and what they do in the media is rigged in his favor. He won't do any interviews in which he'll get real pushback on his lies, right? He won't do it. Everything is fake. Everything is staged. And that is the biggest problem with this administration. There's no transparency whatsoever at all. They won't do anything that's not set up in their favor. I think in an ideal world, what you would have are two debates that are done on Biden's terms. Okay, and then you do two debates that are done on Trump's terms. That's fair. But again, of course, Biden, in his campaign, they don't want anything to be fair, right? And that's what you're seeing here. So he's already essentially pulling out of more debates when we should be having more debates, especially closer to the election. Now, these debates that are currently set up are happening far away from the election compared to when most debates happen. Because the Biden administration knows that, well, if Biden has a Mitch McConnell moment, if he falls asleep on stage, we have time to basically try to run propaganda through the mainstream liberal media in order to try to recover from the disaster that could potentially happen on the debate stage, right? So this is why they don't want any debates close to the election, because if, let's say there's a debate 2 weeks before the election, which there should be a debate at least 2 weeks before the election. If that happens, they're not going to have enough time to run propaganda. People aren't going to forget about Biden falling asleep on stage or Biden having some type of major gaffe that could destroy his campaign. So again, everything, including the dates, how the debates are set up, who's hosting the debates, the moderators, all of that stuff is set up in Biden's favor, and Trump agreed to it, but Biden can't agree to any of Trump's demands. Again, it's ridiculous. It really is. So it's not Trump the one playing games. Biden's the one playing games. In a statement Friday night, the Trump camp denounced Biden for turning down the third debate and dismissing Hispanic voters. Quote, the Telemundo/NBC debate would be widely watched by Hispanic voters, but Biden's handlers are petrified to allow him to defend his disastrous record, a campaign spokeswoman said. Quote, crooked Joe Biden is too cobarde to address the Hispanic community and answer for his failures on the debate stage. Cobarde is Spanish for coward. The agreed to debates will be hosted by CNN in Atlanta on June 27th and by ABC News on September 10th, with the location still to be determined. Both campaigns agreed to the debates after skirting the traditional process of setting up debates through the Commission on Presidential Debates. All right, so yeah, what you see here is that the Biden administration is running away from more transparency, as they always do, because everything with this administration is rigged. Everything with this administration is staged. Everything with this administration is fake. Okay, and if they can't have it their way, then, you know, they just pull out. They run away. Now, again, I think Trump is being very generous to Biden in the sense that he's not really making any unreasonable demands. He's just asking for more debates in a drug test, which I think is the bare minimum. And quite honestly, if I was the Trump camp, you know, I mean, they probably won't do this because it'll make it seem like, well, Trump is running away. This is what the mainstream liberal media will say. But if I'm Trump, I'm going to say, listen, these two debates that we already have are heavily set up in Biden's favor, and he essentially has dictated all the terms, okay? And I want two debates that are on my terms, and I don't think that that's too much to ask for. If Biden can't do two debates on my terms, then I can't do two debates on his terms, period. That's fair. I think that that's what the Trump camp should do. I think that they should say, listen, we can't do these two debates with Joe Biden unless he agrees to two debates on my terms, right? We can't have this thing where Biden's setting a precedent where he's essentially shunning conservative media. He's saying, well, conservative media doesn't deserve, or they don't get the opportunity to host presidential debates. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. I don't like the precedent being set here. I don't like this at all. I think Fox News should get a debate. I think Newsmax should get a debate. At the very least, News Nation. Okay, if you really want to do it on a neutral platform, all right, well, News Nation. And I think Trump is being generous by suggesting NBC News and Telemundo. But I get the strategy. I understand the strategy from the Trump campaign, which is to say, hey, you know what? It doesn't matter if the debates are rigged against Trump. Let's just get as many debates as possible, because ultimately in the day, Trump is going to win on the facts, on the issues. And the more debates, the more chances that Biden is going to have a Mitch McConnell moment, right? That's what you're looking for, right? You're looking for Biden to have a Mitch McConnell moment. The Biden campaign knows that. This is why they don't want to have that many debates. This is why they want to have debates that are months out from the election so that people can forget about Biden and his terrible performance, and the mainstream liberal media has enough time to run propaganda in favor of Joe Biden, right? So that's basically what's happening here, okay? You have the Biden administration once again showing they're not willing to do anything that's not heavily staged and rigged in their favor. But I think at the very least, he should agree to a drug test right before they step on stage or right after they step off stage. I think at the very least, he can agree to that, because I personally don't believe that Biden can make it through these debates without being on some performance enhancers. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.